Well, good morning, folks. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Can you guys give me an audio check? Because I can't hear myself the way I have it hooked up here this morning. So let's give me a 5 by 5. Good. Assuming everything's good, I'll continue. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I usually have a very long series of points that cover each time we do these types of things, and it's unscripted. It usually just rolls off the tongue and whatever I feel like impulsively I want to chase after at the time. I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, so I want to be able to make it short and then hang out with y'all in the Roundup podcast for about another hour or so. So I want to try to encapsulate everything and be done by 11 a.m. my time. Okay, so we're starting here at 9 o'clock. If I can get it done, my portion inside of an hour, and then hang out with y'all over there, that would be cool. My allergies are kicking my rear end, so just let you know, I'm going to be clearing my throat around a lot tonight. So I want you to think about what you guys witnessed this past week. Because it's like every time I open up an email, open up a comment section of a particular live stream or video, or if I just go on my YouTube channel and just look at the studio portion where it just shows every single comment that's posted across the whole spectrum of my entire library. It's usually a sugar fest. You get a diabetic coma reading that stuff because it's very nice comments, and it's not that I don't appreciate them, but there's so much of it you would just think it's fake. Okay, and that's why I don't really let the comment section be shown. That, and also the fake bots that try to advertise these crypto scams. Anyone that's welcome to share their opinion about me, my stuff, what it is I said should happen or shouldn't happen, they're welcome to come to X and say whatever they want to say. And if you're having a civil conversation, I'll engage with you. But if it's nonsense, I won't. And the reason why is because I'm not going to build your platform for you. So this past week, I covered a lot of things, and I answered a great deal of questions that were presented to me by the comment section of my YouTube channel, the repeating comments that come to me on X, I'm reading other people's comment sections on videos, and the remarks made about me that he can't do this, you never see him do that, and all those types of things. And I like to use those little bits to try to inspire all of you that are just starting out. And for the folks that's been around for a long time, they just know how it goes. You get to be entertained as well. So you don't need to see these things, but it's fun doing it. So when I say that you can't pick the high of the day, and you can't time the market, and you can't learn this stuff because it's too complicated, I went on X this morning around 4 o'clock, and I opened it up, and the first thing that pops up. So I'm thinking it's probably X. They probably know, like, you know what, this guy makes content when people talk about him. So let's just start piping that stuff, because they're not adding to me. They're not including my handle. But those little letters, ICT, is in there, right? I can out trade ICT. I can do this and I can do that. Well, here's where you can get the invitation again. Come right out here on X this coming week, do all your trading, call your levels, execute everything, and show it being done in the same account. Okay, and I will literally fucking destroy you. Okay, there you go. We're past all that kind of stuff. Okay, we're past all that. It's either shit or get off the pot. We don't need Robins. We don't need to do that. We can do it right here in front of everybody. Everybody. Okay, that's how it is. Now, I showed you this week with a micro, Just one little micro contract. What do you think I'd be doing? What numbers would I pulling if I did my standard trades? Yeah, fucking doctor salary. 1 week. Speaking of, the last week and a half, there was a guy, and to be honest, I thought it was a girl. I thought Jamie Passy was a woman. And I was afraid to be offensive to her if I referred to her as a guy. But then again, I started thinking to myself, well, maybe it was a guy. And I don't want to offend them because I don't know who they were, right? And they got up on the leaderboard. And I just said, hey, look, check this out. This person's climbing up there. And right away, I knew it was gambling because no one's going to climb that quick, that fast, unless you're heavy-handed, literally gambling. And that's cool if that's how you want to treat it. And a lot of people go into that competition and do that very thing. And I'm telling you right now, I've been watching it for 30 years. And that son of a bitchin' show is amazing entertainment because they'll come in, they'll blast through. They'll come in there, guns a-blazing. I've seen so many people do it. And all of a sudden, they shit the bed. Now, I didn't know that this person was a troll several weeks ago. And I only recognized the person because someone took a screenshot of a post that they made because they since they blew their account on Robbins and then deleted their account on X. I muted them. They weren't blocked, but I muted them because they're just being disgusting, talking nonsense. Not that I'm against that kind of stuff because I kind of like it. But when you're just completely toxic, and there's no real banter to have with you, and go fuck yourself. But it turns out this person was that person. And well, shit. If you're listening to me, get back up on the leaderboard and I'll run your ass down. Refund your account. Do that same Mickey Mouse shit. And you'll watch me beat Larry Williams this year, bitch. Okay? Don't delete your channel. Don't delete your fucking channel and go away. Don't do that, David. Okay? Don't do that. I want you to run right back up there again. And I will melt your fucking face off with shit you ain't never fucking seen. Like, dude, like all you had to do is just sit still. All you had to do is just sit still. It's 4,300%. Just sit still and say, come get it, ICT. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. You could have emailed me. Everybody knows my email address. You could have went on YouTube, said, hey, motherfucker, let's go. You could have did it. You could have did that. Man, this would have been fucking amazing. It would have been great. It would have been such a fucking entertaining thing. I've been waiting for it. But you deleted your channel and you ran away. Why? Why would you want to do that? Like, don't do that. The whole world wants to see this. The whole world wants to see it. Get back up there. I didn't know who you were because I didn't know who you were. But you did it once. So get up there again. Get up there again and say, come get it, ICT, and watch me fuck you up. Because it's funny, I got tweets being sent to me that you were talking shit about me, which I couldn't see it because you were muted. Which means you weren't blocked by me. I just wasn't watching your silly shit. But I can tell you this, if you would have been using my concepts, you wouldn't have wasted your shit like that. You wouldn't have done that. You went from 4,300% down to 2,000% to 2 days at 1,900% and then ghosted yourself completely below 70%. You wouldn't have done that. Now there's a guy up there, Eugene. He's made his appearance several times up on that leaderboard. And I think if he settles down and just tries to do what's required, not try to hit grand slams, he could walk it home. I've seen him up there with 500%, 400%, and then does more than he's supposed to and walks away from the competition. And I went to his YouTube channel and I encouraged him because he was basically kind of like defending himself against people, talking shit. And I just said, hey, look, you got my respect because number one, you do it, you enter it, your name's up there. And everybody else that has these little parting lips about, this, that, the other thing, your ass ain't there. You don't have the balls to even enter it. So why defend yourself against these clowns on the internet? Don't do that. Just take your time and build it up a little bit at a time. That's the thing I want to see. Honestly, I've never, even with Larry Williams was just going in there like a fucking monster, over leveraging to the hilt. Okay. And there's no doubt about it. You can just look at his statements and look at his positions. That was crazy fucking leverage, risking 30% of his account on, on single trades. That's crazy. That's fucking madness. But, he ran that account up to over $2 million at one point, and then it melted down to about several $100,000, and then he had to trade right back up to 1.2 by the end of the year. I've never seen anyone go in and grow it in a manner where it's consistently growing at the same. You can almost see the mathematical incremental gains each week. And that's how I'm going to do it. It's 12.5%. That's it. I'm going to prove profitability every single week at 12.5%. And that does more than what's required to meet Mr. Williams' record. But everybody else goes in there and they try to do these big Grand Slam, Olympic feats, and you don't need to do that. You make it more stressful than you need to. It's not that hard. But I just want to toss that out there because I got a couple people send me emails and they're sending me screenshots of supposedly what this guy was doing. And honestly, I wish I wouldn't have muted it now. So I know you're listening. And you're afraid I'm going to beat you up. And that's why you hurry up and got up, because we're all going to laugh at you. I don't want to troll you. I want you to get back up there again. And I want to show you. Okay. I want to show you just how wrong you are. And I want to give the entire world what they all been waiting for. I don't have to destroy Mr. Williams' record yet. All I got to do is just win it this year. So I'll do it 2 times. All you have to do, use your ability to get back up on that leaderboard again. You don't need to be that high. Just get there. And I'll moonwalk in that motherfucker. And at the end of the year, my name will be there. It's as simple as that. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to brag about it. You see what I can do. You can see right now this week, 100% strike rate. Mr. Hunter over there at Maven, I saw your Mickey Mouse bullshit on X. You think you can outtrade me? Let's see it, motherfucker. Because if I don't do 25 to 30 times your fucking results, I'll delete my fucking channel. I'll delete my X right now. Done. Don't get on the internet and talk that Mickey Mouse shit that you can outtrade me. Don't talk about the ICT gurus. You come right to me, right here. Me. You come to me. You played this bullshit for a couple years now. And you want engagement? You got it. You got it. All you have to do is come out here and tell everybody what you're going to do, and then record your executions, and then we'll compare real regulated broker statements every single day. And you don't think I'm going to do it? Go to my fucking YouTube channel, and you'll see me log in, and I go through every single fucking day, and you'll see the results. And if I don't do 25 to 30 times your fucking results, I will scrub my entire fucking entity online. So that goes for anybody. Any of you. You got no more room to use my fucking name for clout. You got none. Unless you want to come to this and answer this gauntlet, go fuck yourself, you little pussies. You're a bunch of bitches, okay? You're a bunch of fucking pussy motherfuckers. You talk and you talk and you talk. You can do so much better. Please come here and try that. Fuck Robbins. We'll do it right here in front of the entire fucking world. in front of everybody. The whole public will audit us every single day. As the fucking broker statements close, boom, there you go. There's the results. All you got to do is cover up the trade ID numbers, just partially, because AMP, they're not going to let that float. But everything will jive. And at the end of the year, a 1099 will fucking prove it too. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. We don't need to make this complicated. We don't need to stretch this shit out. We can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But I'm going to tell you right now, I told you before, I told you dozens of times. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I've been begging for it. So who's next? Who wants to pony up? What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? You lose and I prove exactly what I've been saying all along. That's all. You won't be able to handle the injury from the demo baller hurting you. That's what that is. So I get that out of my blood system today, and I purged it. So that way y'all know the pot's third. Come at me. That's all you got to do. Just come at me. But if you look at what I did this week, using the smallest of leverage, okay, very, very little leverage. And here it is, the end of the week, and we look back, and it's 100% strike rate. Now, I don't know about you. When I first started, I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think it was realistic. I thought that, I'm going to have some losing trades here and there. I'm going to get it wrong probably a lot. But as long as I can eke out $1,000 a month net gain and save that, by the time I turn 40, I will be able to retire as a millionaire. And that was my perspective. That was my goal. At the time, I thought it was a lofty goal. Like I thought it was going to take a lot of work to get there. And one of the things I challenged you all over the week was to try to start with a micro endeavor. We're just trading with one micro contract. Try to make $250 a week, 4 weeks in a row. Break it down modularly like that. It's a simple little approaches. Use one micro to make $50 net each day if you're going to trade every day. Or if you can, swing trade up and try to make $250 on one time a week. No matter how you slice it, there's different ways to skin that cat, but you're trying to make $1,000 by the end of 4 weeks net. And if you can do that, number one, it's going to be an encouragement to you. 2, it'll be the foundation upon which you need to start and build up, okay? And by having that, it doesn't take long to do the math on it and say, okay, well, as I grow and I build $2,500 of new equity, then I can add another micro. Now, I know some of you are thinking like that's too slow. That's too slow. I want to trade more. And you're the same person that isn't profitable yet. You're the same person that's blowing your accounts. You're the same person that's wrecking your funded account pursuits, and you're dusting them all off, and you're having to reset all the time. Or you're sitting on the fence because you've wasted a lot of money and you're just afraid to do it anymore. But you want an easier pathway. You want a straight pathway to profitability, and you want the big payouts, 5-figure or 6-figure payouts. And I'm just trying to be a voice of reason and tell you, hey, look, what about the $50 a day? Why didn't you start there? Why didn't you start there? And let yourself grow over time. Because, honey, I shrunk the learning curve. I did all the heavy lifting for you decades ago. I did all of that. I ran all the scenarios. I made models. I validated models. I invalidated concepts. I had things that I thought were going to work, and I discarded them. But you don't have that kind of time anymore. You don't have that kind of time. Instead of worrying about, what if they take trading away, like you said? What if I'm wrong. And it takes a little bit more time. You're not going to do it because you're afraid that it's going to be taken from you later on. What about all of the advantages and the help that you could probably give yourself by your own efforts, doing it the right way? Why not think like that? Why not be encouraged by that perspective of it? Not just simply, oh, well, we're going to do 10 accounts linked together with copy trading, and we're going to do the maximum leverage because, you only live once. That's not the appropriate way of doing it right now. And if you're brand new, that's certainly never the appropriate time to do it. One micro. The fear of losing evaporates because the money that you would lose on the setups is insignificant. You spend more for a quarter of a grocery cart full of groceries on a losing trade with your one micro contract. A tank full of gas, if you own a pickup truck, an 8-cylinder vehicle, that's about the equivalent of what you're losing if you're wrong. But contrast that with what you're trying to do or what you have tried in the past. Risking several thousand% because, hey, if I blow it, it's only less than $100 to reset it. And what you're doing is you're conditioning yourself to be a gambler, a degenerate gambler. And that type of stuff, it has a lasting, and the psychology to come out of that it's next to impossible. Because you get stuck on the idea that it has to be lottery winning results or you're not satisfied. It's much like when infidelity enters a relationship. You could have the best partner, the best spouse. They never did anything wrong, never gave you a reason to do what you were doing. But someone came onto you, the opportunity presented itself, and then you did it. Sure, guilt would probably come in there and washed over top of you. Sure, it probably did that. You're not confessing to them that you did it. You're going to hide it. And then what happens is you start thinking to yourself, yeah, we're arguing right now. And it really wasn't that big of a deal of an argument, but you know what? They make me feel less of myself. But if I go out and do that again, because I got away with it, now it's the pursuit of escaping discomfort. And you go into this thinking that $50 starting out as a brand new trader as a goal is not worth it. That's why it's so hard for you to do this. You've created a toxic mindset where the best way of doing it isn't the best way for you. It's the same thing as a drug addict. They keep going back to that same stuff. They know that it isn't healthy for them, but they like the way it makes them feel for the short period of time. For a little moment, sin is pleasurable, but it has an outcome that you don't want to be a recipient of. I didn't drop off. I had to mute. Had to let the puppies out. So I want you to think about the common complaints, the sales pitches from everyone that's not part of our community, but secretly they try to learn what it is we do. It's too complicated. He complicates it. Well, I've been teaching you how to find high probability PD arrays. They don't randomly appear on price action. Be it order block, be it fair value gap, There's a method behind the madness. There is a very specific structure behind the chart. We're not looking at just the candlesticks. It's the grid work that those candlesticks are hung upon. You think those candlesticks just manifest themselves randomly on the basis of buying and selling pressure. And they're like ornaments on a Christmas tree. That's the right place for you, and I'll hang you right there. That's the right place for you, and I'll hang you right there. And when you start looking at the market through that perspective and lay out that grid, what grid? What's he talking about? Help me out. What video? What minute marker? What playlist? Give me the 5-minute trainer version of this right now, because I don't have time for this. I got a 5-figure payout to get. I got to get my money. New week opening gaps. Regular trading hours, opening range gaps. New day opening gaps. Just pick one. Start there. As you get better at organizing, when you get better at knowing how the market will utilize present market structure, current market sentiment, the underlying narrative that's in play right now, and how they're going to cannibalize those individuals that are profitable right now, and you had those levels on your little notepad like mine is here. All those levels that I showed you in the review, instead of white boxes and such, those individual price levels, that's what I have listed from the highest down to the lowest in order. And where it's necessary, I have a little chicken scratch label, tell me what it is. Sometimes I don't even look at that because I know what I'm looking for based on when I wrote the notes. Every morning, grab the pad, take that page off, and when one level falls off, I recalibrate which is the highest one, which is the lowest one. That's my grid. And I'm operating with that. Every day, a new page. 90% of what's on that page the day before is still on my notes. Over time, when you do this, and this is why you want to be doing one market. One market. You cannot, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit who's telling you, okay? You cannot be a specialist in multiple markets to this degree. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's why 90% of these people that talk bad about what you're learning and about me and my concepts is because, number one, they're daft. They're ill-equipped intellectually. They don't have the capacity to be able to do this. So therefore, their frustration, their impatience, their disorganization allows them to vent because they know barking that shit into the ether on the internet. Smooth brains are going to say, yeah, you made the decision for me. I agree with you. The first time I watched a video by that guy, he talks too much and it's overcomplication. And you never see him trade live. You never seen him trade with real money. All the excuses. Just go on that YouTube channel. Everything you've ever talked about, it's there. But you choose to just put blinders on, walk around it like, oh, well, we don't want to see that. Keep saying it doesn't exist and more people will believe it. Keep talking it. But that perspective is them admitting in the presence of the entire internet that they can't do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody can be Mr. Precision. No, look, not everybody can be that guy. Nobody can fault everyone in that regard. That's a fair argument. And I agree. If you hold that mentality and you think it's complicated, I agree. It's complicated for you. If that's how you view it, then you're right. I'll agree with you. You're right. I don't see it as complication. I see it as specific. It's detail oriented. I know what I'm looking for. I know what time I'm looking for it. I know where it's going to form. But because my attention spans a lot longer than the average person, certainly the millennials, because they've been catered to. Short form media, short form education programs. And they're the ones crying right now. They can't pay for shit. They can't afford anything. You expect me to work 40 hours? No, I don't expect you to work 40 hours. I expect you to start your own business. Work for yourself. And toxic mindset is so prevalent right now, not just in what we do in this industry as traders. It's not here alone. It's in everything. My wife, she watches things on TikTok and she'll show me, look at this person here. No, folks, listen, I love my wife and I do have to pantomime like I give a shit at some of the things she shows me on TikTok because I don't care about the things that she looks at. But she'll say, watch this video. Do you see anything wrong with that? I was like, it's boring. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not interested. And why are you showing it to me? Well, look at the comments. Look how they're coming at her. I'm like, that's just people that are weak. These people hate their life. They hate themselves. That's why they do it. They can't climb higher than where they're at right now. They don't have the skill set. They don't have the mental aptitude to be able to change where they're at in life. And they're miserable. So in that misery, they release that misery and attach it to someone else that's doing better than them. The fact that you're listening to me here on a Saturday morning, number one, says that I'm willing to invest my time, my off time, because I'm sure you all have jobs, but you're willing to listen to me, albeit with useless things in the beginning, as I'm sure this wasn't all that entertaining for every one of you. But that's how I got 2 million subscribers. I got to stir the pot. I got to get people talking. And it's free advertising. Free advertising. But you are showing up here on a Saturday because, number one, you might be quiet. You may have never posted or replied to anything I put online. You've probably never joined the bandwagon and talked about me or my concepts, either positively or negatively. You're just lurking. But you've seen enough to know that this old man has something that nobody else has. And that curiosity has you delving in on your personal time. And I want to congratulate you because the most talkative individuals online that are negative, not just about me, but everybody else, they always have something negative to say about everybody else. They don't have that aptitude. They don't have that perspective over themselves. They're miserable. And you are here trying to cultivate the right mindset, looking for the right material, looking for a structured approach. And I can't give that to people. You have to have that on your own. And I've had students that came to me behind a paywall and publicly, like you probably are right now, and they weren't prepared to learn. They see what I can do, but in the back of their mind, he's probably doing some kind of magic trick. He's doing some kind of manipulation. He's not giving me all the information. He's just letting me see what he wants us to see. How did I manage to do that this week? Think about it. You know there's enough here to warrant your own investigation in your own hands, practicing it with it and seeing if it works in your hands. The problem is you're going to have a short timeline. And you're thinking that if these concepts are so good, it's going to be easy and fast for me to learn how to do it. And that is bullshit. Because if that's what it was, I would have said that from the beginning. I never said that. I said, you're going to work your ass off because you are the problem. I was my own problem. Everybody else that struggles with anything that they do, you are always the problem. Can't lose weight? Stop fucking feeding your fat ass. Can't stop drinking? Stop fucking going to the bar. Who's the responsible party here? You. You are. If you're not prepared, if you're not in the right mindset to engage from the lowest form of engagement, 1 micro, not even trying to go after a funded account. If you're not prepared to do that, you're rushing it. You're trying to get to payouts to stimulate you, to make you feel like it's worth doing. When common sense tells you, if you can put $1,000 a month in your pocket, how the fuck is that failure? How is that a failure? How is that a failure? It's not. Not in an industry where 99.9% of everybody else, no matter what they're fucking trading, there's people out there using my concepts and they're failing. Not because of the concepts, but because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with the concepts. My concepts don't fucking fail. They don't. They don't. The user error is what everybody fails to present. I tried ICT stuff and it didn't work. It's a scam. You're a fucking fraud. You can't fucking trade. There's your response. There's your reply. That's the facts. Because if the concepts didn't work, nobody would be able to make money with them. And look around. Look around. Those 3 letters appear in so many people posting online. ICT. Or my life's work, SMC. And that's not Wyckoff. Find an inversion fair value gap in Wyckoff. It ain't there. So it takes a lot for someone brand new. Number one, to find me because I don't advertise. But then when you do find me, you got to wade through all the bullshit. And it's a struggle for some of you. But I allow it. I could remove all of your doubts and do everything you ever ask me to do. And that ain't going to make it easier for you. It's not going to make it easier for you. But teaching the way I teach, you know what it does? As an educator, it ferrets and filters out the people that are fucking lazy. If you can't put 2 thoughts together and realize, okay, he's coming out here on a medium, X, where I'm not monetized. I've received nothing for doing this. Everybody else is welcome to take this and put it on their YouTube channel. And they do. And they collect ad revenue. I get none of it. I don't copyright strike against it. I don't give a fuck. Because these conversations are me just simply having a conversation like we're at the pub. And I don't really want to have these kind of conversations on my YouTube channel. I could be making money doing these. I could be doing this right from YouTube and making money. Why aren't I doing it? Think about it. Why am I not doing it? I've said the F word on my YouTube channel. Every live stream, I'm doing it. So it's not like I don't want to have bad words show up. I just don't particularly care to have these on that channel. Why do I allow everybody else to make money off of it? Because I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I do care enough to spend my personal time on a fucking Saturday when I could be fishing right now with my kids. I could be reading the new novel I just got. I could be doing all kinds of other things. But I know a lot of you out there need to have these engagements. You like to sit down and hear how this mind thinks. You want the opinions of my mind and how to overcome the shit that you're wrestling with. Because I did it too. The difference is I didn't have someone to kind of reel me in and tell me, yeah, that's a bunch of shit. Don't waste your time doing that. And I spent the majority of my first 10 years trying to live up to outside influences, outside expectations. 10 fucking years I did that. Millions of fucking dollars wasn't enough. That's not a good report card to me. I needed everybody to say, you did really good. Wow. I'm proud of you. That's what I was looking for. I wanted the sincere, I'm proud of you. And the students of mine, when I give that to them, I mean it. And when I take the time to either type it out in a response or if I actually say it to them, I invoke their name and I say, look, I'm proud of you. I used to do interviews. I had a lot that I'd never put on my YouTube channel because as soon as I did it, everybody was doing mentorships. And what was I doing? I'm advertising. And what better advertisement is, go on YouTube and go into ICT's YouTube channel and you'll see him interviewing me. And you can see I was personally trained by that guy. So he's the Bruce Lee of Forex. And I'm doing a mentorship now. See how that doesn't rub right for me. So it's not that I don't respect the students. I'm just simply not going to do that. So I took them all down and I never put any more up. And I get it. I could see why that would be something that would be like a badge of honor. But let your own work be the basis on which everybody judges you and how you conduct yourself. And if you're going to do a mentorship, if you're going to do a educational pursuit, be honest. Don't try to pretend that you found all this shit on your own. Because as soon as you start doing that shit, you're cursed. You're not stealing from me. You're not stealing anything from me. But as soon as you try to take the glory and all the honor, like you found it on your own, my Father's going to step in and he's going to strip you of the stuff that you think you deserve, and nothing will work in your hands. That's what I mean. The approach to doing this outside of the way I instruct, it makes it longer for you to do this. And I know I have students that have made money and they're out there educating right now and they're trying to say, I waste a lot of time doing this, doing that. When you hear them say that, and when they say that, they are ignoring the fact that they got where they are by going through the process I put them through. And they're going to try to twist it and market it in such a way where flash in the pan windfall profits coming in to sign up for their shit, because they know that's what's going to happen. Because here I am standing out here for free. Yeah, it's for free, but this guy wastes a lot of my fucking time. I promise you, if you get to be profitable long enough and stay in the business long enough, everything I've ever talked about, you're going to have to cross that river when you get there. You're just blinded by pursuit of making money right now. You haven't crossed all those bridges that are ahead. I've been here. I'm in the future. I'm talking back to you. You can't even see up ahead where I'm at. And that's not ego. And that's not bragging. 34 years, folks. What do you think I learned over that time? How many other people out there with this much time doing it spends this much time with you? Like, who the fuck are you? Like, anybody owes you anything? Least of which me. That mentality, that entitlement holds back so many people. Instead of saying, you know what? This guy doesn't need to do this. He's not making any money doing it. Like, what's the motivation? I want to see the people that really want to do it and follow the instructions properly. I want to see you do well. And I'm hoping that when you do it and you succeed, you remember the currency. Don't claim it like you made it yourself, because it ain't even mine. It was entrusted to me, but that's it. I'm not smart enough, and nobody else is smart enough to figure out what I teach. Unless it was shown to me, I never would have got this. And I'm convinced that nobody else would either, because if someone else knew exactly what I'm doing and the things that I have yet to teach and some things I won't ever teach, they'd come right up here and buck up against me and say, hey, watch this, buddy, and do it. But they don't. They don't do that. But they're listening right now and they're taking notes. Maybe they're not in here right now. They're going to wait till the session ends in hours from now, maybe tomorrow. Then they'll watch it because they don't want to be seen in the group, in the gang. Because a couple of people by doing that in the past, and they're embarrassed by it. You don't need to be embarrassed. If you don't start no shit with me, there's no reason for you to be embarrassed by anything. I know a lot of stuff, folks, and I'm willing to help all of you. I'm willing to give you answers to your questions. I'm willing to show you by example. Can you show me a trade where you do this, this? Sure, watch this. Boom. I have no problem doing that. I know some of you need to see that. There's nothing wrong with that. But giving you signals, entries, stop losses, targets, managing your stop loss for you, that is not how you teach somebody. That's not how you do it. If I give you rules and parameters, start with this, and then you grow into it yourself. When you do those types of things, you learn by default wrestling with your own emotions. And then here's the thing that you're trying to hide from. But these are the very things that make you better. They improve you. By you going through the motion of training the way I teach it and practicing the way I tell you to practice and going the slow path through it, you got to give yourself time to discover what you're fucking up on. Rushing into trying to, well, I watched that video. I understand the silver bullet. All I got to do is look for that first presented fair value gap and just look for a relative equal high or relative equal low. And I'm just going to just do that and make money. I don't give a fuck about all this bullshit. All these different fucking models. I ain't got time for that. I got money to make. Okay. You might get lucky once in a while. But what happens is then you have a losing trade and you have that chemical imbalance, that chemical romance where you need to fix it right away. And because you didn't want to listen, you didn't want to listen to the old man rant to keep your shit calibrated. You didn't want to listen to that. So what are you going to do? Wreck yourself? That small, little losing trade that you fucked up on, you wish you never would have did, but now you put yourself on the line. You told everybody, this is what I'm doing with my account. This is the balance for right now. And all of a sudden you just took a small loss. Now the number isn't what it was. You showed on social media. Fuck. Lip service Larry, he's going to look at this next time I post, and he's going to give me all kinds of shit about this, that I took a loss. While the loss is insignificant, but the pain and the power you give everybody else over you because of their words. What the fuck are these words going to do to you? All these people on the internet call me a fraud. All these people say I can't fucking trade. what do you see? What do you see? Do you see somebody that's guessing? Do you see somebody that's having their feelings hurt when they talk that shit? I reply directly to the people that act like a nail. And that offends some of you because you got questions, but I already gave you the answers. I don't owe you a response directly because I've already answered that. But come here talking shit and I'm up in your fucking grill because I'm waiting for you. I'm not hiding the comments because I'm scared on YouTube. I'm out here right here where everybody can touch me, handle me, see if I won't put some shit on you. But they don't do it. They won't do it because they don't have the power to unseat me. They don't have the authority to remove the efficacy, the precision, the consistency that the Father's given me, and I'm sharing to you for free. They have no authority over that. The devil ain't got any authority over that. That's why he can't do anything to stop it. And the worst he can do is accuse, run his little mouth, his mealy little mouth. And the weak-minded people, they listen to it. Oh, yeah, that's probably true. And the people that can trust with common sense and their own eyes, you've been here, right? You've been here. You watched me do this week. I outlined what I said, what's going to happen in the marketplace. I call the levels out here. If I'm not doing it on X, I'm in my students' live streams. Here's the level. And I just want to apologize again. Dasha, who runs Lumi Traders, she was live streaming the other day. And I generally, I tie strings around my fingers and bite my tongue when I watch my students that live stream and they're looking at something that I know is not right. And she knows I like her and I respect her and I don't want anything bad to happen to her. And I never say anything bad to her, anything she's done. Even though she wrote a book and a lot of people say, she's making money off of you. If you read the book, she's crediting me. And then by that, when you come to find out who I am, then you hear me say, the Lord Jesus Christ, by revelation, taught me how to do all these things. And I don't care if you don't believe that, but that's the truth. It's not found in anybody else's stuff. So I give him all the glory. She allowed that platform to exist. So I don't have anything against her. I didn't say anything bad. And I asked her, I said, send me a copy of your book. I want to read it and review it. I haven't done it yet. You know, I just thumbed through, saw the picture. I think her depictions and annotations are the best of all my students. They're very organized. And it would take a woman usually to do that. But you're simping, bitch. I had to look that up the first time somebody told me that. You're simping. So anyway, Thursday I showed up in her live stream and she was talking about how she wanted to see it go up. And I was like, ugh. Be careful. And she picked up on it. Like in my head, I was saying, if you can hear me, just don't do that. Don't go long. Don't go long. Don't go long. And she's like, I've noticed every time Michael comes in here and he says, be careful, I take a losing trade. And I was like, yes, you picked up on it. You picked up on it. Clairvoyance. Woo. So I called out the level of sell side that I was using for that trade that you saw later in the day. And obviously not to brag or anything, but it did. It went down. And then I said, I'm sorry, but I don't like to step on the students' toes, and I don't want to go in and like command the audience in their live streams. And I don't want them to be embarrassed by me saying, that's wrong, go do this. But I was just having a wonderful week, and I did have a wonderful week. And I didn't want to go into it with regret, knowing that I could have said something to subtly, and I think I did by doing what I did, subtly in her stream. She picked up on it, and she didn't hurt herself. And I'm just thankful that she was mature enough to see it that way and me not be viewed as, coming in and trying to steal the spotlight or whatever. I go in and I see the students. I wish them well, say hi to them, and sometimes if I feel inspired, I'll drop the level the market's going to use, and then I roll out. That's it. So I think this week was a testimony without even really trying. Like what I've taught you already, you have the ability to do 20, 30 times what you saw me do examples of. You're looking at lower time frame setups. So how many setups are forming in an intraday universe of price action? Lots of them. You know, I said the other day, I could take 25 trades before the close of regular trading hours the other day. And people were looking at me like, no, that's some cap shit. That's some bullshit. You're nuts. I could pull up a 15-second chart, a 5-second chart, and I will fucking go up, down all day long and do hundreds of fucking trades in a day. Hundreds of them in a day. Just because you don't have the perception of price action like that right now doesn't mean it's not true or valid. Doesn't mean that at all. It just means that your limited vision, your limited perspective of a price action right now blinds you from the opportunities that time doing this will afford you. You will see things that you don't see right now, 5 years from now, and you're like, man, if I would have been able to see this then, shit, all these opportunities, right? But what you hear by me saying that is he's trying to tell me to go faster so I can get that 5-year mark sooner than 5 years experience. And there's no way to do that. That's the paradox of time. You can't speed it up. You think if you do more, and if you push harder, if you try harder, if you do things your own way, not follow the well-worn path I've laid out for you. You want to go into the sticker bushes. You want to stomp through the fucking molasses swamp. You want the shortcut. And the only thing you're going to get is hitchhikers, poison ivy, or worse. You're going to have regret. Then you're going to have to backtrack, go all the way back to the beginning where you started from. But now what do you have? You have scar tissues, painful experiences that's going to be now a factor for you. Am I going to have the same problem if I keep going around the bend of this well-worn path? That there's going to be something that's going to hurt me because I did this in my own hands before and I hurt myself. If you listen to me, I have already shortened the process for you. I've made it as more direct than any of you ever could possibly find it. But it takes effort, it takes organization, and it takes time. And all of you are pushing that time further away from where you are right now by simply not listening to me. Not listening to me like you're listening to me now, but understanding what I said, practicing this specific way, do these things, and don't focus on these types of things. The negativity. The first litmus test with me is if you get caught up in the bullshit, what do you believe more? You believe the opinion of people you don't know. You don't know these people. They put a post up on the internet. Smart Money Concepts is rebranded Wyckoff. Okay, $5 million. Find what I taught with these PD arrays in anything Wyckoff. It's a very simple $5 million to get it. Boom, $5 million, just like that. Easy money. Nobody does it. That tells you they're bullshit. But if you take the effort to believe them without doing your own research, you've already proven you aren't worthy to be here. You're not worth my time. That's what it boils down to. Because if you have any common sense, you say, I want to really take a look at this because I want to know that when I walk away from all this stuff, I've made the right decision. This guy's a scammer. This concepts don't work. None of this holds up in real market conditions. It's not replicated in anybody else doing it. But then when you come here and you listen to me and I pour myself into you in a condition that is not monetized, Had to bring the pups in there out there barking at the deer. I was hoping they would shut up, but and they were coming around the back more, and that means that it's going to be louder because they're going to be by the French doors. But when you have these the evidence in your own hands, it's easy for you to dismiss the stuff that you'll see online. And it's just tribal mentality. It's all it is. I see it in sports. You see these guys, these grown-ass men, and they're bromancing over the players, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the golfer, the basketball player. They're individual goats, the greatest of all time. And as soon as they put their opinion about who's the greatest of all time, or this is the best player, or this is the best sport, or this is the best team, when they put that out there in the ether, what do you think is going to happen? Somebody that needs to have attention, someone that hadn't had any validation, is going to come out and say the contrary, when both of them are just sharing an opinion. Now, I have a biased opinion about what I'm going to say. I'm biased. There's nothing out there in trading that's better than this that I'm teaching, because mine is perfect, and you can't improve upon perfect. Now, perfection in the hands of a neophyte is not perfection. So when you hear people say, yeah, I tried SMT, ICT stuff, it's a scam, it didn't work for me. Okay, so that means everybody else that's making money with it, everybody else, they're all scammers. It's a liar. The prop firms and the brokerage firms that yield those payouts and withdrawals just gave them charitable money. What takes more confidence and faith in believing that they use a logic that's repeating that they learned from here, right here, and they put it to task in their own hands and they made money with it? Or everybody else is a liar? Come on, man. In the early stages of when I came out and started revealing this stuff, it's understandable. But now it's just silly. Like, it's undeniable. It's got a hold on the industry as a whole. Look how many people are talking about the concepts that you're learning. They're everywhere. They may not use my name. They may not refer to ICT. They may even say SMC. They just quietly just talk about this fair value gap, this inversion fair value gap, this order block. Where'd they get that from? Wyckoff never used such terms. Elliott Wave never used such terms. Over 2,000 books, I'm promising you, not one time did those words ever appear in anybody else's work, ever. When have you ever sat down with someone and they walked out the price action before it happens in front of everybody, and it was perfect? What school of thought or price action concepts outside of what you're learning here was ever afforded that much precision, evidenced in front of you? Nothing deleted, nothing edited. Some of you don't like the fact that I'm that confident, and you see it as arrogance. It's not arrogance when it's just the truth. Why do you think I am the way I am? I know where it came from. I know who gave it to me, and I trust him. When you yield yourself to it and you practice the right way and you don't rush, invite him in. Just ask him to help you understand it better. It's his anyway. Ask him. If you're a Muslim, bite your tongue and say, you know what? It's just between you and me, Jesus. I'm going to ask you. Give me understanding. Help me understand this clear. And just sit back and watch how he works. But then you have the other side where they look at what I'm teaching and they're thinking, man, I could teach these people that don't know anything about this guy. And I can clean up They'll buy this stuff up like crazy. And all I got to do is repeat what he's already saying. That's why there's no more mentorships. That's why there's no more paid behind the paywall type stuff with me. I put so many people in business. I made so many millionaires by all of them just simply repeating me on echo. And you can't do that stuff here if you're going to learn how to trade. You have to do it yourself. You have to learn how to do it in your own hands. And I have made the learning curve as short as possible. I told you what to do, what not to do, what to focus on, what not to focus on. And by having an understanding, and I'm going to close it in 4 minutes, by having an understanding of where you're supposed to place your emphasis right now and not try to do more than what's necessary for that stage of your development, you'll enjoy the process of learning. You won't stress yourself out. I stressed myself out the first 10 years. Even when I was making money, it was still stressful because I was telling myself all the time, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. What was I saying? The outward external influences and the woman that wasn't even with me anymore had this much influence over me, and my actions and my victories didn't feel like victories. It felt like I was still on my back bleeding out. And if you start your learning process that way, it'll stay like that until you either fail or you realize that it's not helping you, it's hindering you. And you have to put down that painful stuff. You got to cut toxicity out, man. And on social media, it's like this. I don't go around looking at people I know that are toxic because number one, I already know that they don't have what I have. They'll never catch up to where I am. They'll never trade as good as I am. They'll never be able to see the market like I do. And I don't care what they say because most of the time they're talking out their ass. And they're doing everything for engagement because their business model revolves around engagement. They need people watching them. They need people buying their bullshit. They need people believing their lies. They need people to go and use their affiliate codes. I don't need to see what they're doing. As far as I'm concerned, they're losing. Even if they're making a little bit of money, they're still losing because their mind is attached to things that don't benefit them. And they think by building up themselves, by talking down to someone, I'm the worst one to do it to. Like it's insanity. Like it really is lunacy to see what these people do to try to defer your attention away from what it is here for free. Why is there such a vested interest to try to keep you as a potential student from learning this? You ever ask that? Think about it. Because they don't want you doing what they can't do. It's available to them too. It's available. They could learn it the same way you're going through it. So why aren't they doing it? Because they can't trade. They're not responsible. They're not organized. They're not patient. They can't stick to a process. They can't stick to a model. They can't come to the conclusion of, this is all the moving parts I need. He has, referring to myself, ICT has all of these other things I could include, but this is what I found works in my own hands. It's one or two things, and I stick to that. You know what that is? That's maturity. That's refining it and making it yours. And that's what I mean by that. It doesn't mean every time I introduce something new, or if you haven't learned these other PD arrays, that you still have to work towards learning how to use them and then place them in your model too. That's not what this is, man. That's like saying whatever you use to get into a trade, whatever it is that you use to get into a trade, you're entering a specific candle. That candle marks the time that you entered the trade. Are you looking at every single candlestick with the same scrutiny? after you enter the trade. You are if you are using my concepts, but everybody else, once you're in there, then you're just hoping and praying that it's going to move in your favor. That's all you're doing. But we're looking at every individual candlestick, its individual high, its individual low, where it opened in relationship to where it closed the previous candle, where that open is on the new candle in relationship to the previous candle's high or low, or its consequent encroachment, if it's a wick, or a mean threshold, if it's a solid candle. We're constantly getting feedback based on that perception. You can't argue and be honest, okay, and say that this stuff, you can't make the argument and say that this stuff doesn't work, because it does. I have the longest track record of using this stuff in front of all of you, telling you beforehand what it's going to do, and it does. It pans out. And you can't imagine the confidence that you'll get when you can do it yourself. It's like riding a bicycle. You're never going to forget it. It's always going to be available to you. And as long as the markets are available, what do you have to worry about? You could literally walk out there every single day, because on a small time frame, sub 1 minute, you can make your rent money. You can make your mortgage payment. You can make your car note. You can get your grocery money. You can pay for your vacation. You can buy that new toy. You can put your kids through college if you believe in that scam. All of those things are available because you'll have a cookie cutter, and you walk out into those candlesticks. That's dough. That's money for the taking. That's what these candlesticks look like to me. Rolled out dough. Money. And I know where the low-hanging leaf on the money tree is hanging. And I just walk my ass over there and gingerly just reach over there and pluck that shit off. Tuck it in my wallet and look for the next one. Wait for the breeze to blow. And a leaf about to fall off shakes a little bit differently in the breeze. And that's all I'm looking for. A little bit of disturbance, a macro time. Where's that leaf I need to pluck off next? There it is. I'm not complicating shit. It's easy. So easy. But in the beginning, it doesn't feel like that. And I told you that because you have all these things that you want to bring into it, these convoluted ideas. This is what it should be like. I know how I should be taught. You should be teaching me why you didn't do this fair value gap when I'm teaching you now why that fair value gap is not useful. It's got to be on top of a gradient level. That's what makes these PD arrays work. If you don't have that, they don't fucking work. I got a sound bite. He says his PD arrays don't work. That they'll do shit like that, and people will read that and hear it and say, "Oh, look at that! By his own lips, he said it doesn't work." Hang around long enough, look around, and you'll see these people still do this stuff. And the brand new or the dumb fucks, they see it, and because they're weak, because they don't know how to do shit, and they're scared that somebody might say something like that towards them, because in their mind they're thinking, I kind of want to see what ICT is teaching or talking about, but I don't want anybody to know I'm doing it because I don't want them to talk bad about me because I would feel inferior and I would feel ganged up on and bullied. And you'll piss your pants on the internet because they're going to talk bad about you because you want to learn what I'm teaching for free that other people are making money with. That's what that is. That's why people subscribe to other people's opinions. Instead of just coming here, hanging out, do the things I'm suggesting, do it in anonymity. Don't even tell me you're doing it. I've had so many people over the years say, your shit don't work, it's fake, you're a cherry picker, you're using a white label broker, you're deleting executions, you're doing 12 laptops. Come on. I mean, the list goes on and on, and every single one of them I'm checked off. That's impossible to now use. That's impossible to now use. That's impossible. But some of these trolls said, you know what? I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to show him why this shit doesn't work. I'm going to prove it. And now they're some of my strongest students. They're some of the strongest advocates and ambassadors to what it is I teach. They started off as a troll. That's the reason why I engage with them, because I pity them. They're wrestling with something. Something is going on inside them that they have to do what they're doing. And that's more powerful of a motivation than them simply going and putting what I'm teaching to task and being better because of it. If they really believe what they were saying, they would go in and prove with data, this is what he taught, exactly how he tells us to do it. And it's failing here, it's failing here, it's failing here. It never worked here, it never worked there, it's never working there. So they don't have the motivation to do that, to see if it really is flawed, but they can't wrestle themselves away from the pain that they're going through that causes them to lash out and be negative. If it wasn't me, it'd be something else. So the only thing that's manifesting and being brought to the surface is their own problem in their own skin. And that is what we bring to trading. That's why it takes time. I can't tell you how long it's going to take to learn it. And no one can shorten it for you. No one can take away your bullshit for you. All the problems, all the character flaws, all the insecurities, all the self-doubt, all of the beat up scar tissue. My ex-husband said I was a piece of shit. I'd never be able to do anything. And without him, I can't amount to anything. That's in your brain. You got to fix that before you come here and learn this. Because you're going to look at this stuff and say, you know what? I can still hear his voice saying I'm worthless and without him, I'm nothing. I had students. I had students that I had to counsel to get them through stuff like that. And I'm not an advocate for divorce. I'm never someone that says that that's the only answer. But I'm thankful that they were strong enough to get away from those type of people. And they're doing so much better without them. They're raising their children in a much more stable home. And they don't have to fucking work. And what do you think their ex-husband is thinking about them right now? Man, I'm fucking wrong. I'm wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong about her. She doesn't need me. And look how well she's doing. That's the best revenge. Living well. And it's best served cold, where you don't even have to talk about it. Just do it. Everybody comes to this with their own drama, their own bullshit, their own problems. It's like chains dragging them. You have to take them off, and I can't do that for you. I wish I could. But she had to make that decision to stop empowering that opinion of her ex-husband while she was still married and still living on the roof, that he was paying for all the bills. He was calling all the shots. And she couldn't even relax long enough to focus on learning what it is she had to do here. And one day she woke up and said, you know what? I deserve more than this. And my children deserve better than this. And I'm going to make the conscious decision to change what I can, which is how I think and what I'm going to allow this man to put me through. And now she's a stronger woman. She's a stronger mother. And she's setting forth an example for her daughters that now see her shine. So I hope I spoke to some of you, inspired you, probably bored some of you. But that's all I got for today. I wish you all a very pleasant weekend and a very safe weekend. I'm going to move over to the Traders Roundup podcast and hopefully listen to every one of you, share what you've encountered this week and what your observations were. Until I talk to you next time, be safe.